Hello and welcome. Today we'll cover upcoming nerfs and also I will show you 3 best performing decks in the post-nerf meta. So first we've got Conjurer's Calling, and this is a really good call. Why? Because it was really powerful and cheap at the same time. On turn 4 you play Mountain Giant, turn 5 Conjurer's Calling with Khadgar already wins you the game, but also there was a different possibility of just playing Giant on turn, let's say 5, and then turn 6 a double Conjurer's Calling because of the twin spell. And right now you've got still a really powerful card, a really still powerful option to win the game. Your opponent will have a little bit more time to answer to it, and also it won't be really as that powerful. Like, it will be way harder to play 2 copies at the same turn basically. So I think this is a really good idea. Maybe we'll see a different change in the future because of the Khadgar, but still. Then we've got Luna's Pocket Galaxy, and basically from the unplayable card to the playable one to back to being unplayable, because at 7 no freaking way that someone will play this card. This will be more like a funny option to include for the combo potential, but still, like, no one really played this competitively. Then it was just playable. It was good, but it wasn't really awesome or like game breaking. In my opinion, it was just good because when you played something based on giants, and of course because of the Conjurer's Calling, you had a really easy option to play giant for like 1 mana or 0 because of the discount, and then, you know, do the whole shenanigans with the Conjurer's Calling. But right now, unplayable. This card, Conjurer's Calling, will still see play. Luna's Pocket Galaxy, this will be a trash, so you can disenchant it. And basically, if those cards, you know, got nerfed and you've got them, it's better to disenchant them and craft them later if they will end up being playable. Dr. Boom at Genius. This is still a really powerful card. I'm happy about this change because right now at 9, at least you won't be able to use the hero power at the same turn. No matter what kind of outcome you will get, you will need a coin or any kind of discount, and right now I'm really happy about it because Dr. Boom at Genius was one of the most problematic cards, at least those hero cards, because it was so powerful. You had an option to play this on turn 7, yeah, okay, Dr. 7, it's right now Dr. 9, so like the whole good idea is just completely, you know, destroyed. But whatever, I don't really care about the magic number 7. Armor basically should be changed to 9 if we want to be, you know, consistent with numbers. But basically this card was so powerful because of the rush and the amount of max that warrior got, also because of the hero power. And I think still the biggest problem of this card is that hero power is a little bit inconsistent. You've got few outcomes that are really powerful and few trashy ones, so I think we need a little bit better consistency in hero powers. Like, for example, this turn you've got the first one, then you've got the second one, and basically then the whole cycle repeats, and this might be a really good idea. The same thing applies to extra arms. I mean, okay, not the same thing like in Dr. Boom at Genius, but from being playable and being a pretty okay card, a pretty good one, mostly because Priest got the Nerfs Cleric and way to heal those minions. It was so powerful to, you know, play on curve, play the 1-drop or coin of the 2-drop, and then go for the extra arms. So that's basically the main reason, and Nerfs Cleric might be a problem because this is a really powerful classic card that can be played on curve, and this changes things dramatically. And extra arms in itself, it's just pretty okay. It's like Blessing of Kings, which is worse in Priest, you know, like when you've got a Paladin and a Priest, so they are pretty similar things, but because Priest got the ability to heal their minions, it goes more, which is sad. And yeah, right now I think at 3 it won't be playable. It will be really bad. And Barnes, I do not play Wild, but I know a little bit of things about Wild meta. A lot of people complain about the Big Priest and that this is one of the most broken decks ever. This is disgusting, and basically because when you will coin out Barnes and play this on turn 4, it's disgustingly powerful. Then you can resurrect your big boys and win the game just like that on spot. So I think white players will be really happy about it, and yep, that's just a good change. So let's just move on to the top 3 decks. And first we'll start with a Highlander Hunter. It's already super powerful and dominating, and it will still remain on top. I really like this deck list because it fixed basically the card draw problem in this kind of deck. The biggest strength of this deck are two cards, Dino Tamer and also Zephyrist, but on top of it we've got Zul'jin, which is one of our best win conditions in this kind of deck. And what kind of fix we've got here? We're Citron in order to get the mech, because we've got two of them, Snip Snap and also Ziliax, so no matter what kind of outcome we'll get, it's really powerful. And also we'll have an option to get the healing, and also Sunbinder. I really like this thing because Zephyrist, this genie, is an elemental at the same time, with our really powerful board clear, or just, you know, way to deal more points of damage. For example, if you need to trade into something, you will just get Rush and Wind Fury, you will kill 2 minions easily. And if you just want to be a little bit more aggressive, then you will pick something like the Wind Fury Divine Shield in order to make this minion harder to kill, and then deal 12 points of damage on the following turn. During the early game, we've got a pretty straightforward plan, which will be to summon Secret Keeper or the Spring Poe, follow this up with one of the secrets, and then it's pretty easy to still continue playing on curve with something like the Animal Companion, with a pretty powerful board clear, which will be Deadly Shot. It works really well against something like the Mountain Giant, so you know, keep this in mind if you will play against the Mage. And also a few really powerful board clears or ways to control the board with Unleash the Hounds, or also with the Mark Shot and Houndmaster. A really powerful 4-drop just in itself because of the stat line, but at the same time your opponent will need to kill this right away, otherwise you will just get way better board control. And also Spellbreaker as a, you know, small bonus in order to answer to something like a huge Adwin created by a Tempo Rogue, which might pop out on top in the post-nerf meta, at least in my opinion. And Subject 9, which is still a really powerful card draw. So when we've got 3 really powerful options to draw cards, there is really no fear that we'll run out of cards quickly, mostly because other cards generate even more cards, so you do not necessarily need to draw through your deck. My second choice is Tempo Rogue. It already performed really well across few expansions. Right now we've got just few new cards from the Saviors of Uldum, which is First Cut, a really powerful 1-drop that will give you even more steam to deal with the opponent, and also Hooked Skiminator, a really great card because of the upgrades like Deadly Poison and Captain Greenskin. You will have a really easy way to deal even more points of damage and make this weapon better, and it's already pretty powerful, especially because of the combo effect. And right now we've got a slightly, you know, improved the formula of this deck. Not only you want to play on curve and be pretty aggressive, keep something like Evil Miscreant in order to coin this outer play backstab to trigger the combo, but also we can kill the opponent with something like Woggle Pick combined with the Life Drinker or Leroy Jenkins, but you need to be sure that like this is the only minion on board to basically get the guaranteed bounce effect. Right now people do not play too many weapon removals. Like in the previous expansion, it was a pretty common way to play, for example, Acid Ooze in order to destroy opponent's weapon. Right now weapons are not really as that, you know, common, not as that popular, so you do not really need to be as that afraid to equip a weapon and, oh no, I will lose it in about 1 turn. And then also as a win condition, we've got Myra's Unstable Elemental in order to play Zephyrus and get most of the times fatal damage. As my last choice, we've got a combination of a Zoo Warlock, also with a Highlander Warlock. And why would we play with this kind of weird combination? Basically, this card is an answer, and right now we also got the Sandbinder in order to increase the odds of getting this card. So what's the game plan? It's still pretty simple. It plays out just like a Zoo Warlock, but we've got 1 copy of each card. So during the early game, you want to control the board with your board, so that's why you want something like a Flame Imp, and then follow this up by a 2-drop. Most of the times you want to just develop like the best statted minion on curve. Yeah, a pretty easy thing, just like a Hearthstone. Then we've got few interesting options, like for example we can get the lucky and change this into a 5/5 demon or play Trasher, deal damage to our hero, but this shouldn't really be a problem, because if we'll follow this up by the Diseased Vulture, we'll get a free coast minion as a bonus. And also here we've got increased stats, and yeah, it's really not a problem when you are the aggressor in most of the, you know, situations. And history buff, it already got pretty powerful stats as a free drop, one of the best stat lines, but on top of it we'll get few buffs when we'll play minions, and it's pretty easy when you play with a Zoo Warlock. Then Magic Carpet to get a little bit better board control, Snip Snap Flexible Fang, because you can play this in early game, you can play this in late game, it always works. And then Leroy, just as a finisher.